Hi everyone, so this video is going to be about my acne and my experience with Accutane. Right now my skin is really clear, but that was not always the case. So my acne started to get bad around 10th or 11th grade in high school. I started to get acne probably towards the end of middle school, but it didn't really get bad until when I was in high school. So before ninth grade, like in the summer, my mom took me to see the dermatologist, and my dermatologist gave me some tips and gave me some different creams to try and see if that would help before she tried anything harsh like Accutane. So the tips she gave me were the following. Number one, she told me to make sure you wash your face twice a day. This is incredibly important so that you clear all of the oil off your face and the dirt and all that stuff. So in the morning and then before you go to sleep every single day. Don't skip a day, don't sleep with makeup on, none of that. The next tip she gave me was to change my pillowcase often. You don't really think about it, but when you sleep, your face is resting on the pillow all night, and any oil that's on the pillowcase will be transferred onto your face and vice versa. So if you sleep on the same pillow every night, the oil is just going to accumulate in all the dirt. So what I started doing was I would sleep on one side of the pillow one night, flip it over the other night, and then put a new pillowcase on this next day. So I was never sleeping on the same side of the pillow twice. And I didn't really notice that much of a difference, but I'm sure it wasn't hurting me either. So maybe if you have not super bad acne, you could try that. Another tip she gave me was to change my washcloth often. So like whatever you use to dry your face, which should not be the same towel you are using to dry your hands or after you take a shower to dry your body with. Those should be very separate things. So whatever towel you use specifically to dry your face should be washed often as well. So I wash mine or change it probably like twice a week or at least once a week. But again, like everything seemed like it was helping for a little bit, and then I feel like my body was like, just kidding, and then it would get worse again. And nothing specifically was like making it worse. It wasn't like hormonal. I wouldn't necessarily get worse on my period, maybe a little bit, but like it just seemed like it just kept being bad. So I went to the dermatologist kind of frequently. I tried so many different creams. I couldn't name them all if I tried. I tried different like cleansers on my skin. I was not touching my face as often. That was another tip she gave me, was to like keep my hands off of my face because again, oil and dirt, you just don't need it. So if you're gonna touch your face, make sure your hands are clean first, if at all possible. So I was doing all of those things. I tried cream, I tried like oil things, I tried like a million, I don't even know, like so many different things on my face. I even tried pills that were supposed to help regulate it. So from like the summer before ninth grade till the summer before 12th grade, I tried so many different products. Like my room, I just had so many products, and none of it really helped. Some things again sort of helped and then they wouldn't. So I got really frustrated and my self-esteem was almost non-existent, because I think anyone knows who's gone through middle school and high school, it is already hard enough when you don't have acne to feel pretty or to feel handsome, let alone when you have a bunch of acne on your face. My acne was pretty bad. It was all over my face, it was on my body too, like my back. My face was constantly red. I could any makeup that I wore was like completely gone by the end of the day because I just had so much excess oil on my skin no matter what I tried. So I remember this day very, very clearly in my mind. It was one of the lowest or lower points of my life. It was the summer before I was about to start my senior year of high school, so I was 17 at the time. Now I'm 22. And I was supposed to go grocery shopping with my mom, so I was like putting on a little makeup because I like had to wear makeup to go out because I felt so ugly all the time. So I absolutely had to wear makeup to literally go anywhere other than the dermatologist. That's the only place I would go with no makeup on, as sad as that sounds. So I was just doing some of my face makeup, and it was all just like bunching off and like crumbling off because some areas of my face were really dry and some areas were really wet and from the oil, so like it just was looking horrible. And I couldn't make it look good, and I was so upset. I just started crying, and I went down to my mom. I was like, I can't go to the grocery store with you. I'm so ugly. I feel so horrible. Like, nothing's working. So my mom made an appointment for me to go to the dermatologist that afternoon. So I went that day, and that's when the conversation about Accutane started. My mom, I'm pretty sure, knew I would have to be on it sooner or later. My dad, when he was about 21, went on it because his acne was very bad as well. So I think it's a hereditary thing for me that I was kind of doomed. Right now my younger brother has acne, so I think it's just kind of in my genes to have really oily skin. So I think she knew in the back of her mind that someday I was going to have to go on it. But with Accutane, it is such a harsh medicine or pill or whatever you want to call it that they're not going to give it to you right away. Like if you walk into the dermatologist and be like, hey, I have really bad acne, they're going to send you through the ringer like they did with me. You're going to try 15 different things at least. And then if they don't work, they'll give you it because it is so harsh on your body that if something else works that's not so harsh, they're going to give it to you first, which I think makes sense. So they decided to give it to me, and I had to fill out a bunch of paperwork. So some things you should know beforehand. So you can't just start Accutane that day. You have to like go through a process. So like you almost have to get cleared. So first and foremost, you cannot absolutely in any way get pregnant or be pregnant when you are taking the medication. The baby will be born or could be born with really, really bad birth defects, like missing limbs, I believe is what happens. So in no way can you get pregnant, and they make sure that there's no way that can happen. So they make you declare 2 different forms of birth control before you even go on Accutane. So if you're a girl, you have to start birth control and declare condoms, or just have some sort of 2 different methods to ensure that you won't get pregnant. If you're a boy, I don't know if that, I don't know if your sperm can carry the like Accutane or whatever to the woman. I don't know if like that can happen, but I know if you're a girl, you can't get pregnant. So you have to like declare 2 different forms. So if you're not on birth control, your doctor or dermatologist might make you start it before you start Accutane. I had no boyfriend at the time and I had no prospects, so my doctor let me declare abstinence as my form of birth control, and then I said condoms as my other one. But I know my friend, her dermatologist wouldn't let her say abstinence. She had to start birth control. So it depends on who you go to, but that's something to consider. That the government is very, very serious about girls not getting pregnant when they're on this medication. You also cannot be diagnosed with depression before you take the medication, because one of the side effects is it makes your depression worse. So you really, if you have been clinically diagnosed with depression, you have to get clearance from your therapist or psychologist or whoever you go see before you take the medication. And in some instances, if your depression is so bad, I don't know if they would give it to you because it increases your risk of suicide because of like all of the stuff in the medicine. So I don't know if they would even give it to you. So you have to sign a form that says you are not depressed and have not been diagnosed with depression before they give you it. They also draw your blood every single month, and that's to ensure you're not pregnant, for one, and to make sure your levels in your body stay the same or similar throughout the whole course of Accutane. I know 1 or 2 of your levels do increase slightly when you're on it. I don't think it's anything like dangerous levels, which is why they take your blood to ensure it doesn't get to dangerous levels. It's just like slightly raised. So if like normally your level was like 9, it would be raised to like 11, but that would still be in the range of normal. It would just be higher than normal or higher than your body would normally have, but it's still like okay and healthy for your body to have. So, but if that level gets too high, then you would probably have to discontinue taking it. So you have to sign all these forms that says you will, get your blood tested every month, and you're on 2 forms of birth control, and you're not depressed, and like you understand all the risks and everything like that. And then you have to come back a month later to actually get it, which is to ensure you're not pregnant. If you're a boy, I'm guessing you don't have to do that, obviously, but if you're a girl, you need to do that. So they make you wait a month to make sure you're not pregnant. So they give you a birth control or pregnancy test that day, and then you get another one the next time you come, and if they're both negative, then you can start it the second time. So the first time I went to the dermatologist, it was in July, and I started Accutane in August. So my mom also made me go see the eye doctor before I started, because your eyes will get really dried out, and I wear contacts, so my mom wanted to make sure it would be okay for me to keep wearing my contacts through the treatment. My dermatologist told me that usually you're not really supposed to wear your contacts because like something can happen to your eye. So what I did was I limited my use. I really didn't want to wear my glasses, so I kind of didn't. What I would do was right before I left for school, I put my contacts in, and right when I got home, I would take them out. So they were only in during school hours, and then when I was just at home doing homework or whatever, I didn't have them in. And I went to go see my regular doctor as well, just to make sure everything was okay before I took such a harsh medicine. Some people of my friends have like questioned why I chose to take it, because it is so harsh on your body, and that doesn't seem like the healthiest thing. It was mostly because I was so unhappy with how my face looked, and I was so unhappy like being what I would consider ugly because of my acne, that I was kind of okay with risking it to get the results that I wanted, as bad as that sounds. So I started Accutane in August, and every month they give you like a 30 pill fill prescription, and then you get 30 days, and then you have to go back to the dermatologist to get your blood drawn again before they will give you the next 30 days. So they won't give you like all your pills at once and be like, have a nice day, bye. Like, no, they have to check up on you every single month. So that's how they ensure that happens, by only giving you 30 days at a time. So you have to come back every month to continue your treatment. So I took my first pill in August, and I took my last pill in December, which I think is about the normal amount of time. So that's about 4 months. One of my friends had to take it for 6 months, and that's because she just wasn't getting the results as quickly as I did. So I think 4 to 6 months is like considered normal, but you want to take it for the least amount of time as possible so that you're not on that harsh medication for a while. As far as side effects go, you're gonna have dry skin. Like, that's what it's basically doing to you. It's closing your oil pores everywhere, so it's not like your face is just gonna be dry, and like your hands won't be. Your hands are dry, your feet are dry, your lips are dry, your eyes are dry, your back's dry. Like, your whole body is very dry, which made it worse when I was getting into winter. So that's not, your skin is normally already dry, so it was kind of both on top of one another. My skin was very dry. But if you take it during the summer, you can't be out in the sun very much. Like, you have to wear a ton of sunscreen because it like makes you more susceptible to UV light. So it's kind of like whichever one you like better, either not being in the sun or having dry skin. So, but everyone gets dry skin. You can't get around it. So what I ended up doing was at nighttime for my lips, since those were very dry and like peeling, it was really gross actually now that I think about it. Like at the time I was like, this isn't bad, like to get results, but now I'm like, that's gross, you know? So I would put like Aquaphor on my lips before I went to sleep, which is very like oily lip balm. It's very oily, so that would like nourish my lips. And then like it's good to put it on at night so you're not like constantly like eating or drinking or like it coming off or when you're talking and whatnot. So before you go to sleep, it's a really good time because then it can like sink in for those 7 or 8 hours you're sleeping. So that helped me, and then I would just either put that on during the day if I could stand it. Sometimes I can't, it's very oily. Or I would just put like chapstick on like constantly. Like I still feel like it, put it on constantly. I don't know if it's because I'm addicted to it or my lips are just drier than other people's because of the Accutane like effects. But I still feel like I put on chapstick way more than the average person. And then as far as like my wrists were like kind of cracking almost because they were so dry. My ankles were similar, my whole hands really. My arms and my legs didn't really seem to get any of the effects. My face even, not really. I would moisturize it a lot too, but that didn't seem like to matter either. It was mostly just my wrists that got it the worst, but then again it was cold outside too, so like both of them together it was bad. So I would put Eucerin, like the jar of Eucerin, on my wrist and anywhere else that was dry before I would go to bed, so it would absorb all night, and then by the time I woke up my skin wouldn't be as dry. And then during the day I would just put on, you know, more regular lotion that sinks in better, that wasn't so oily, so I could still like function and use my hands. And for the most part both of those tactics really helped me. But I mean, if you looked at me, you could still tell that my skin was dry. I would carry lotion with me and chapstick at all times, so it's constantly probably like, even during school I would just be applying it because especially my hands just hurt because of all the dryness. But yeah, I noticed results probably after a month of taking it. My face cleared up quite a bit, and then every month it just got better. I got to the point where I was so happy because however I did my makeup at the beginning of the day was the same as it looked at the end of the day because my face is just not oily. So my makeup's not sliding around or moving around because I had no oil really on my face left to make it move around. So I am beyond happy that I chose to take Accutane. I'm beyond happy I did it because now I will get a pimple or two every once in a while. I wouldn't even say it's once a month, it's probably once every few months. And they'll be small and not bad at all, and that's usually because I'm trying a new makeup product or a new moisturizer or just a new something, and sometimes it's just like my skin's like, no thanks, like stick with your old stuff. And if I do, then I don't really have any. Like right now on my skin I have no pimples whatsoever, and I don't do any special upkeep really. I just wash my face twice a day and that's it. I moisturize a lot because my skin is drier than I think other people's probably is, but other than moisturizing twice a day, that's it. I also use face masks that are moisturizing, but I think everyone could probably benefit from doing that, so I don't think that's something special that I necessarily have to do. I just choose to do it because it makes my face feel good. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm really happy that I went on it. it wasn't fun during it because dry skin is not fun. My eyes would get really dry too. They'd be kind of pinkish by the end of the day because they would dry out a lot. I know you can get drops for them, but I didn't. I don't know why not, but I didn't. But other than that, I had a really, really good experience. My dermatologist was super nice and caring about it, so that was a good experience as well. Like, get a dermatologist that you like because you're about to spend the next 5, 6, whatever, even years, let alone months with them. So like, pick someone you really like, you know. So that's it for me. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will be happy to answer them. I just want to end this by saying I'm not a dermatologist or a doctor. This is just my experience with Accutane and acne. I'm not telling you to go on it. I'm not giving medical advice. This is just my experience, and I wish I had one of these videos to watch when I was about to start Accutane so I could know what to expect. So this is the purpose of this video and not to give you medical advice. Okay, so thank you. Have a great day.